This is Kerrigan & Company. Did you know that more than 90% of cyber attacks can be prevented? Focus Technology helps organizations create a cybersecurity framework to minimize your risk of being attacked. Let Focus Technology's certified team conduct an assessment to determine where the gaps are in your organization, no matter how big or small your company is. Utilizing the industry's best tools, Focus Technology's security operations team will monitor and stop bad actors before it's too late. Contact Focus Technology today at focustsi.com and secure your company's most valuable assets. That's focustsi.com. A&B Burger in Beverly and A&B Kitchen and Bar in Boston are redefining guest expectations of a casual restaurant. Both A&B restaurant locations are focused on hospitality, creative menus, and delicious food and drinks. Now, I've been to both restaurants many times and loved everything I've tried. Get to A&B Burger on Cabot Street in Beverly or head across the street from our studio at the TD Garden to A&B Kitchen and Bar in Boston today and experience the A&B difference yourself. I promise you're going to love it. Special edition of Kerrigan Company coming right up. Keeping me company today, an old friend who can customize just about anything and has the biggest heart of just about anyone I've ever met. This is Kerrigan Company.
Kerrigan Company is here for you. Yes, Kerrigan Company is here for you.
Welcome, everybody, to this edition of Kerrigan & Company, presented today by A&B Burger, our good friends at A&B Burger. Be sure you check it out here in downtown Boston as well as in Beverly. My co-host, keeping me company today, is somebody that I have known for a lot of years. He is got an incredible story about life and business, I have to tell you. And I am thrilled to have Jack Doherty, who is the founder and the president of College Hype, here with me. Now, we have to back up so that people understand how we know one another. We met, I think, probably, I'm going to say 15 years ago.
Let's go with 16, Kim. It sounds better.
All right, let's go with 16 years ago. This makes us really good friends if we go back that far. And you were a sponsor for our Zip trips when I was at Fox 25. And you would come out every Friday from Memorial Day to Labor Day with us on these trips. And you would bring out T-shirts and you would bring out paraphernalia. And it was so much fun. And you brought your crew and they were so much fun. And we all became very good friends and worked really hard to make it a good show.
And it was an absolute blast. We had so much fun hanging out with your crew every Friday. We'd get there around 4:30 in the morning. I think
it was an early gig.
It was early, yep. And it was over at 10 or it was over at 9:30. And we would pump up the kids for the most part. It was usually the probably 5 to 10-year-olds that got in line, and we would shoot T-shirts and get them screaming and yelling, and then we would be blessed with you or Gene coming over and shooting the shirts, and just the kids would jump up and down. They'd catch them. They would fight over them. They would go crazy, and then we did it every week.
Fun.
Yeah, it was a blast.
So when he says shoot, it was like these T-shirt guns, which you see at the Garden now. You know, they shoot them up or in different places, but that was sort of a novel thing to me when we first started to do that. And by the way, it's not so easy to do, and you have to get the thing going.
No, it's not. And I think we should get this out of the way early.
Okay.
But years ago, we asked you to be a spokesperson / model. If that was, I think that's how we worded it. And you just basically, you didn't say no. You just kind of laughed at us. But I did bring a quick document here. You can just read this out loud. It's already signed by us, of course.
Okay. It says, Dear Kim, as a small company, we would like to offer you the position of head model for our retail division. Thank you for your cooperation. Oh, and consideration.
Yes.
And then you have signed it. And
so
there's a line for me to sign it as well. So I think this is a modeling gig. Now, I have to check with my agent.
Here we go again. So this is proof that Kim, I know this is a podcast, but it's also viewed by some people. This is proof that Kim was early on with our company, and that's a legitimate book I don't know if it's publicized or I don't know if it's published or you can buy it. But anyways, so Kim was with us years ago.
Yes, with the gun, and I was on the cover. I was a cover girl. So anybody who doesn't think that I've been a cover girl, you're wrong. I have been a cover girl, Jack, thanks to you.
And that'll be back on our website as a Throwback Thursday. And thanks for signing that, Kim. I don't know if that's done or not. Okay, we'll go over that after.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. Well, College Hype. Tell everybody about College Hype.
So College Hype is a business that I started at Westfield State with. I was playing football, and I was a wide receiver, and my buddy was a quarterback, and we kicked around some ideas. And next thing you know, we came up with, we were kind of upset with the security at Westfield State, and we came up with our first shirt, No Fun Allowed. And we did okay with that. Doug Meehan was a model back then, by the way. And then we did a couple other shirts, Eat, Drink, and Get Written Up. So again, we're knocking the security, and we would have graphics made of a big owl, a big fighting owl standing on a security guard. And we would do 100 at a time, and I think we paid $5, and we sold them for $10 and gave away probably 50 or 60 every time. So we never really made any money, but we had a lot of fun. When we graduated, we did the shirt, the party's over, now what do? And then from there, it just kind of grew, and I loved seeing people wearing stuff that we had created. And Tim and I just had a lot of fun with it. And after a few years, we got into doing shirts after graduation for Dorchester Day, and we would go to the parade, and we did some crazy shirts like 2 p.m., and it had two Irish guys with their arms around each other. And then on the back, it would say 2 a.m., and they would be kind of giving each other a little hit. And then we did another shirt, Perception Reality. Perception on the front was just everybody's enjoying the parade or the event, and then reality was it was a long day. And so we just that's the stuff that was a lot of fun. But in truth be told, we didn't make any money. We didn't know what the heck we were doing. I was a history major. I went to school to be a teacher, so I didn't know you're supposed to make money and make a living and do things like that. So we did that for about 10 years. Went to the St. Patrick's Day parade, sold T-shirts, and then it started getting real. And what I mean by real is we started hiring people, hiring some good people, some bad people, and 35 years later we have great people. But it took a long time to get to that level. It's still taking time, but we came up with core values. Everyone has core values in their life, and when our core values got set of things like sense of urgency, teamwork, passion for the industry, that's what helped us to kind of fuel the business and take it to the level that it's at now of printing for a lot of corporations and schools and things. Right.
I mean, honestly, if you see something in the Boston area, chances are good it has come through College Hype. It's amazing, Jack, just watching the company from the time that you and I did come in contact with one another to where it's gone now. It's really spectacular, and it's a great. And what I love about College Hype is that you do have those core values, and the result of that is you guys do a lot of really great things for a whole lot of people that are not padding your pockets, by the way. And I think so many people have appreciated that through the years.
Yeah, we've. I was just thinking today they're celebrating the 2004 championship team, and coincidentally we had done the shirts "Why Not Us" with Kurt Schilling and a number of members on the team. We showed up in the locker. We gave them the shirts. They gave them out. It was 25 shirts. Then after that, they ended up ordering thousands of shirts and selling thousands of shirts, and the money went to ALS and spinal muscular atrophy for SMA. So a lot of the things that we do end up raising awareness first, and then money, and some of it raises big money.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It's a lot of fun to do that, and it's very rewarding.
Well, for me, it just seems like you run a business with your heart, and fortunately, your heart is guiding you in the right direction for success for you and your employees, which is just so great. Listen, let's change gears a bit here, because one of the great things about today's show, and I want everybody to know this, today's podcast, you're going to meet 3 different men who have really faced some adversity in their lives, and they've turned that adversity into something positive for others. And I just can't wait for you to share your story. that has turned out to be something positive for a lot of people, and I think has sort of guided you in your life to all of the positive things that you do. Jack is a hockey player, played hockey a lot. You heard he was an athlete, played football.
Not a great hockey player.
Well, listen, can you stand on skates and can you hit a puck? Because if you can, then to me, you're a hockey player.
Thank you for that endorsement. I really appreciate that. That's
because you haven't seen me skate.
I could tell you a funny story about that after, but
anyway, Jack played on a men's league hockey, and tell about that fateful night and what happened to you.
So there's a number of versions, and what I mean by that is there's a quick one, a medium one, and a long one. I'm going to go medium to quick, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So,
and by the way, you've shared this story, but not a lot.
No, not really. I've done it at some fundraisers and things like that. It's not something you really talk about, but the what's great about talking about this is that it's not about me. It's about the people that saved my life. So it's not that it's easy, but it's kind of easy to talk about when you're talking about other people. You talk about yourself, it sometimes doesn't resonate with a lot of people. So the great thing here is that it's more about the people that helped me that day and that helped my family after. So 2013, October 9th, full day, went to work, went to the gym. I think I went for a swim with my son later, and a couple of guys were harassing me about playing ice hockey. I'm a third-line men's league C player, just to clarify that if anyone, my friends ever tuned in, okay? So with that said, I was out in the ice, and there was 2 minutes left, and I yelled out, how much time's left? And somebody said 20 minutes, and I screamed something out, dropped to my knees, literally dropped to my knees, and that's all I remember about the whole night. So everything I'm telling you is from the people that were involved that night.
Those who were there.
Yep. I was on the blue line, went down, and guys came over and turned me over, and they thought I was faking it. They thought I was just exhausted because right before that I kept complaining about not having enough water. Or I just was thirsty. So anyways, they come over, and two guys start yelling or speaking loudly and said, "Look, this is real." Turned me over, and I was blue. What I mean by blue is like a Smurf blue. So,
right.
They got
not breathing,
nothing. And again, I don't remember this at all. But so what happened was, one guy called 911. One guy started doing chest compressions. One guy went out to the parking lot, see if they could get help. I mean, everybody had a role that night. One of the guys, Mike Cummings, started doing chest compressions. JT Thrun held my head. Another guy, Mike Larry, he came over and did chest compressions. Then I guess they all took turns, and this went on for a while. They could not find the AED machine, so unfortunately they didn't have one readily available. And after that, they went out. One guy, like I said, was out in the parking lot, and he talked to this other gentleman. He said, "Look, there's a guy in there that's we don't know what's going on with him." So the guy came flying in, Ryan Pugsley, who coincidentally was a firefighter, a Braintree firefighter, and an Afghan. I think he was in Afghanistan and Iraq twice. So he kind of knew what to do. These guys were doing a great job. They were keeping oxygen to my brain, from what I'm told. And then when he came in, he slid across the ice, bumped me, and at that time the police officers had showed up, and they had an AED machine. So he shaved my chest. I think he cut my shirt off and started zapping me. Since then, I've become great friends with these guys. But he did tell me, he goes, "Do you know what it's like to get zapped on the ice?" I said, no idea, because I don't remember it. And he said, "Jack, it is the worst thing in the world," because he got zapped too, because for some reason the electricity went through him. I don't know how that works. But anyways, I never came to. I was still dead, literally dead. The ambulance came onto the ice. They worked, the ambulance backed up to the ice. I believe the paramedics kept working on me, and the police officer drove the ambulance to South Shore Hospital. The whole ride there, I don't remember this, but they were talking to me, "You have 5 children, you need to wake up, This is what they told me. And then I remember getting to the hospital and waking up. My chest was all broken out. Yeah, my chest was caved in. Everything was a mess that way, and physically couldn't do anything. But my eyes opened, and I kept thinking, I hope my wife's here. I hope my neighbor's here. She's a nurse at South Shore. Look, my neighbor's there, Christy Holden. I'm like, this is the craziest thing. Yeah. But I was alert. And I don't know if you know the statistic, but a few years ago, 300,000 people that died outside of a setting, only 8% actually made it. And of the 2,400, there's brain damage, there's all kinds of problems.
Right,
so,
absolutely.
Anyways, these guys...
Had they not kept those compressions
these
going...
guys are rock stars, So that's why the story's kind of easy, because I'm telling it through their eyes or what have you. But I got to the hospital and just felt this really excited, felt great. I was hurt and I couldn't move for a long time, but it was just an amazing feeling. I did not know that I had died. I still to this day, and I think I told you this, question the whole thing. How does someone die? Like, does that make any sense? And that's why I was Larry telling the story, and they had some way of telling me, no, you were dead. There was no pulse.
Right.
So it was just a pretty cool experience, which is a weird thing to call it cool, but the friendships I've developed, the experiences that have happened since then, the people I've met, off the charts.
Well, and you told me, Jack, that I asked you, people talk about whether, you've seen the pearly gates, and you said that you did. That's not the case for you, but that you did have an experience.
Yes, I didn't. It was first a few people said, hey, "Did you see this person? Did you see that?" I didn't see anybody, but I had some amazing feelings. I do remember. I don't remember dying. I don't remember falling to my knee. I do remember going down, but I don't remember anything after that, like literally. But what happened when I woke up is I was embarrassed because I said, "Oh God, I was dehydrated." To this day, I still always think, was I really dehydrated? But when I started coming to the next day, I was like, geez, I went somewhere. Where the heck did I go? And then after a few days, they started telling me when I was, after they'd done the surgery and done some things, and they said, did you experience anything? And my first thing is no. But then I realized or remembered, oh boy, I don't remember leaving my body. I didn't have one of those out-of-body experiences, but it was somewhat of, how would you say it? A reflection or a dream or something that whatever happened to me was euphoric. It was, I think I explained it before to you, that it was, I remember Adam Vinatieri kicking a field goal and winning the Super Bowl. It was that times 10. It was like winning the marathon times 30. It was Carlton Fisk's home run, but they win the World Series. And you take that, and it was just this, I get chills when I think about it because it was so real. And I remember going, everything's all right. Nothing matters. Everything's all right. And I don't know if I was flying in a rocket or I was just being brought somewhere, but it was so cool and so emotional and euphoric that I don't want to repeat it, but I tell you, it was. I look back and I say, geez, everything was fine. Everything was good. It's time to change. It's like I'm going on a trip soon and I'm checking everything off. Socks, underwear, shoes, shirt. It was the same thing. Kids are good, family's good, wife's good, house good, mortgage paid. Yeah, and it was like, then I was gone. But then next thing you know, I'm in the hospital.
You're in the hospital.
Yeah,
bed.
so
Right.
that's.
I mean, the story is, you've used that story a few times. As we said, you haven't shared this story all that much.
No.
But I know that you've used it in ways to help other people. And we don't have to get into the details of that.
No.
But that's details that you've shared with me. But you've shared that story with others whose lives were coming to an end or maybe had someone close to them who's gone. And that's been a real relief for a lot of people, hasn't it? It's a real peace.
Yeah, I will tell you one thing just came to my head is this woman asked me, a friend, she said, geez, my mother's dead. And one of the things I always find myself saying, and I hate saying it, but it just comes out, is they're in a better place. And then people will say, how do you know? And I'm like, oh God, I don't want to get down this road with you. But I have, and some people they've looked at me and said, that actually helps me. And I'm like, well, if I can help somebody and I'm giving them my experience that I always say, I think it's accurate,
Right.
And I remember this woman say that made me feel at peace. And I was like, oh boy.
Right.
That's a good thing.
I said to you, Jack, it's a powerful story.
Yeah.
It really is. And it's the question that all humans have. Where do we go? What happens? How does this come to an end? And you have an answer that as close to an answer for anyone, and it's a peaceful, great answer for so many people.
Yes,
so,
and I remember, you remember the Farley brothers? Mm-hmm. Peter Farley or Bob, one of the Farley brothers had called me up, a friend of a friend, and he talked to me for 2 hours about it. And I said, why are you doing it? They're like, what's your, and I don't know if he was doing a book or a movie or whatever, but he had interviewed a number of people, and he was sharing some of their stories with me, and they were, far superior than mine, but it's really interesting. But one of the things that did happen was I saw lights, and I think I was telling you, blinking like lights, like at the beginning of a Disney movie.
Yeah.
And
you described it to me like Tinkerbell going across the screen.
Just, yeah, and I keep thinking maybe I was dreaming it, but that's something that was vivid. And he had told me, or a few other people had told me that had similar stories, all saw those lights. So there might be some truth to the lights out there, Kim. We'll find out by the next guy that has a heart attack.
Well, listen, I think there's a truth to your entire story. I certainly hope there is. Jack Doherty is my guest, and he's my co-host today. We're sharing stories of adversity that lead these three men you're going to meet during the course of this podcast that led them to doing great things for others, and some of the great things that you've done. As we've said, as you've talked to others to set their minds at ease. And you've also I think you're just a very charitable person. We're going to meet someone that you came to know, you've now introduced me to. And as we are here in the middle of marathon week, it just seems really pertinent to be chatting with this young man who is about to run, I believe, be involved in his 10th
Number 10, yes.
Boston Marathon, which is absolutely spectacular. So we're going to introduce you to Matt Brown on the other side of a quick break. Jack, we're having fun. Thank you. I'm so glad you're here.
Can't wait for Matt to come on.
I can't wait either. It's going to be great.
Awesome.
You bet. This is Kerrigan & Company. Heading to the TD Garden for a Celtics or Bruins game? Make sure you leave enough time before the game to go to A&B Kitchen and Bar across the street from the Garden. Get the evening started early with drinks, apps, or dinner. Hey, and here's a pro tip for you. Because A&B Kitchen and Bar is so close to the Garden, I suggest you go online to anbkitchen.com/reservations and make a reservation. That's the letters anbkitchen.com/reservations. Can't make it to A&B before the game? Not to worry. The kitchen is always open at least an hour after the TD Garden event lets out. Do you know what generative AI is and how your company can ensure employees are more productive? Focus Technology can help you master the use of Microsoft's newest tool, Copilot. This powerful tool can help your team speed up many of their daily tasks by enabling hands-on learning directly with the software. It can summarize long emails, generate drafts of long documents, and search for answers to key questions. Copilot represents a unique opportunity for businesses to accelerate their understanding of what generative AI can deliver for their company. Contact Focus Technology today to learn more at focustsi.com and bring your organization into the AI revolution. That's focustsi.com. Attention all you fashionistas, I've got a secret that I'm about to share. It's a fabulous clothing boutique located in Marblehead, Massachusetts, called All Chic at 152. Now, I'm a regular there, and quite frankly, I'm constantly asked, where do I get my clothes? If you're ready to elevate your style game, this is the place for you. The staff selects on-trend, unique styles from Europe, Canada, and right here in the United States. The beautiful store is filled with hand-picked clothing, as well as shoes and accessories. Anyone who tells you have to break the bank to look great obviously hasn't shopped at All Chic at 152. That's All Chic at 152, located at 152 Washington Street in Marblehead, Massachusetts.
If you like rum, you're going to love Rumson's Rum, New England's most award-winning rum brand. Rumson creates distinctive and savory flavor profiles by hand-selecting and marrying the finest barrel-aged Caribbean rums. The spirits are then blended and finished in the New England Rum House. Choose from Rumson's Gold, Spiced, Grand Reserve, or Coffee Rum, which is smooth and sweet with a warm roasted coffee flavor, a hint of vanilla, and a decadent buttery finish. Find Rumson's at liquor stores or ask for it at your favorite restaurant. Learn more at rumsons.com. That's rumsons.com. Rumsons. Life lived, life enjoyed.
This segment of Kerrigan & Company is brought to you by Lucia Lighting and Design, where people in the know go for the best possible lighting and design experience. Welcome back, everyone, to Kerrigan and Company, presented by A&B Burger. Keeping me company today is Jack Doherty, and Jack is the founder and the president of College Hype. If you need anything printed, you need, I wish you could see some of the stuff he brought me today. It's so cool.
Shirts, T-shirts, whatever you need.
You bet.
Company.
I love it.
Charcuterie boards, we can do it.
Yes, you can. I know that for a fact. Anyway, Jack has been here to share his incredible story, which we just heard. And now we want to share another story. Now, you and Matt have been very good friends. Why don't you tell us about your relationship with Matt and how you've come to know Matt?
So I got to know Matt about...
and by the way, this is Matt Brown, for those who want to make sure.
Matt Brown from the Matt Brown Foundation. I got to know Matt 2 or 3 years ago through a mutual friend, Ed DeLuca, and coincidentally, we had a lot of the same friends. His cousin Lenny Wall and a number of other people had told me about Matt, and we started talking about doing some apparel for him and how we could help his foundation. And he does amazing things. One of the things we did to help him out was a buddy of mine had a billboard company, and I said, this guy Matt Brown, could we get him on the billboard? He said, Matt Brown, I know Matt Brown, Jack. Everybody knows Matt Brown. He's an amazing guy. And I'm going to turn it over to Matt and let him tell his story that is, like I said, simply amazing, and what he does for people and what he does for his community and those around him.
Well, Matt, it is an honor. You and I had never met, and it's just so great to meet you. So Matt's story starts back when he was 15 years old. How old are you now, Matt?
I am 30 on Thursday.
30 on Thursday. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Matt's story starts 15 years ago at Norwood High School. So let's start the story there.
Yeah, I loved the game of hockey growing up. I remember as a kid I would run around the neighborhood, wiffle ball, riding bikes, street hockey. But when I got into middle school, the phrase "eat, sleep, hockey" became, true in every sense of the phrase. And upon entering high school, the dream and the goal was always to make the varsity team. I remember growing up as, with kids running around the rink, idolizing the high school kids as if they were professionals. That was a goal to get there. And freshman year, I was on the JV team, and I started the sophomore year on the JV team, and I was bummed. But I knew that, working hard, and I couldn't just hope to make the varsity team. So I was going to have to work hard to make the varsity team, and the hard work started to pay off. First, second week of January, coach called to tell me to meet him in the locker room, the athletic room after school one day, and he threw a jersey with the number 3 on it. I was in the lineup for wins against Walpole and Natick, and then it was time for our game against Weymouth on January 23rd, 2010. It was a late afternoon game on a Saturday, so all the boys were excited to go down, do our job, get a W, and kind of get together for the night after and see where the night took us. But right away we knew that we were going to have our hands full because Weymouth was a powerhouse that year. And it was showing from puck drop. For me, nothing was simple. No play was easy. Coach had enough, and our line started to get benched. And about halfway through the second period, he turned and looked at the 3 of us and said, "Now go do something." So I made my way to the boards, hopped the boards, and saw that the puck was heading towards our end. I was the first guy back, so I went after it. The puck bounced off the backboards, came back between my feet, and I looked down. At the same time, my body and another player's body collided. I lost my footing, went headfirst into the boards, and ultimately broke my 4th and 5th vertebrae in my neck. Was paralyzed from the shoulders down. And the amazing part was that I hit directly at my parents' feet. One of the first things that I realized, or that I remember before my mind kind of shut itself off, was that my eyes met my dad's eyes, and I think he knew something was wrong. I sent the message that every hockey player sends when they get knocked down, is to get back up and get back into play. But nothing happened, and I knew this was serious. And when I was on the ice, I started to look around, and I saw that there were a lot of people on the ice. My mother's jeans were wet up above the ankle, and that let me know that she'd been on the ice for a long time. I was transferred to Social Hospital. Doctors were there trying to look over my body. We had my parents there trying to get answers, and friends and family starting to show up and figure out what was going on. I was ultimately, put to a deep, deep sleep with some meds. I was transferred to Children's Hospital, and I woke up there 5 or 6 days later, not knowing where I was, unable to move my arms and my legs, and dependent upon everyone around me. But I was lucky that as soon as, those dark days started to, really come, and that first week was very dark, I asked why a lot. Why did this happen to me? I was lucky that just as I was hitting my lowest point, we had friends and family making their way into Children's Hospital. And I realized that I wasn't going to go through this alone. I was going to have friends and family there at every turn, being behind us and behind the family. And I realized that it was time to look forward and not back. Can't change the past no matter how much we want to. And dwelling on the past just makes things worse. So I set a goal that I'm going to work as hard as I can for as long as it takes, to one day get back on my feet. But along the way, I'm going to live life the way I want to live it. Not dictated the way by an injury like this, might dictate. And,
Matt. And it's so vivid for you
Sure.
to this day. I mean, every single minute of it.
Yeah.
Let's fast forward your story just a little bit. You went to Atlanta, I believe. There's a rehab facility there. How long were you in Atlanta?
So I left Children's 3 weeks after my injury. I was down at the Shepherd Center for 2.5 months.
Yeah.
And when I found out I was going down there, I was nervous that I was going to lose that support system. But that revolving door in the ICU came down and was down there almost every weekend. And it was another reminder that I wasn't
You weren't alone, right?
not alone in the fight.
Matt, you, I know that in the beginning you vowed that you would get up and walk again, and unfortunately 15 years later that's not happening, but you've advanced your life in other ways. And this is the part that's so incredibly inspiring about your story. You went on to finish high school. You went to college. You're a broadcast major, which is a little concerning for those of us who try to make a living this way. And you got out of school, and then you decided that you needed to share your story with others and to do something to help people in your community, a community that you didn't necessarily want to be a part of,
Sure.
but had been thrust into. Talk to us about the Matt Brown Foundation and what you've done.
Yeah. So the idea, we always knew that we wanted to give back. I've been so incredibly lucky with, my family, my friends, but, the town of Norwood, the hockey community, they've been behind us since the beginning. And I knew that I wanted to give back. And the idea of a foundation kept coming up in writing the book, Line Change. It was an idea that we tried during college, wasn't the right time, I was busy. But when I got out, I knew that there was an opportunity to help. So when we launched, I wouldn't recommend this launching in the middle of a pandemic. We launched in June 2020, and it took us 15 months before we could have our first event. But our support system that was behind me from the beginning, that little village is now becoming a village for another family or a group in need. And the first year was slow. But each year after that, these last 3 years have been incredibly special. A golf tournament. This will be the 4th year that we do the marathon for the foundation. We have 15 bibs in the Falmouth Road Race this year. We have so many folks and individuals coming to our side. Jack has been unbelievable with College Hype, and we have some great apparel sharing our message. Mm-hmm. But I want to go back to what you said about, it's been 15 years, and I'm not there yet. Jack and I talked about this on our way in. And I think a lot of people kind of wonder and ask and figure out, like, what keeps you going? And my family talk about, and we've kind of gone off this message, and it's the thought of what if. What if tomorrow's the day that my arms and legs start to work? What if tomorrow's the day that I start to get movement back? Or, what if tomorrow's the day that there's a cure for paralysis and a cure is discovered and, they call my name? I think one of the things that keeps us going is that, what if tomorrow's that day? Why would I ever stop trying if tomorrow's that day?
Absolutely. A message I hope you share with a lot of people, and I know you do, don't you? Yeah.
Matt, you have the marathon coming up on Monday. So can you just tell us what it feels like getting ready for your 10th marathon, which to me is absolutely amazing. You know, that's an awesome thing. I think the weather's going to be 50s, 60s, hopefully, God willing.
Hopefully warm, but not too warm.
Yeah, so what's your prep the day before, mentally and physically? What
I'm lucky. Lucas Carr, my running partner from Norwood, joined the military, was an Army Ranger. When he came back, stateside, my injury was right around the same time, and he, like people in Norwood, wanted to figure out any way that he could help. Friendship started, and in 2012 he came to us and said, would Matt have any interest in running the marathon and participating in the marathon? I think I said yes before I even knew how it would work. I didn't know if I was going to be in this chair or whatever it was. But it's such a special day, and for him to sacrifice months and months to train. He's out there running the long ones, 18, 20 miles. He's lifting. He has to lift weights and to push me. Me, I'm lucky. I just gotta start eating salads and cutting out ice cream. And make sure I can
to be a good partner.
Oh, exactly. He wants me light as a feather. But it really is a special day. 26 miles. This is number 10, and this is the 4th year we're doing it for the Matt Brown Foundation. In 2012, we set out to do it. We had the idea of one day running for a foundation of our own. And it took us a while, but we were able to run and raise some money for some great foundations. We ran for the Travis Roy Foundation, Boston Firefighters. But for this year to do it for the foundation again, I never used to get emotional going down Boylston. But the last 3 years I have, looking down at the logo and those that have joined us on the team, Mary Kay Galvin, Jess Rooney, and Brendan Green, and now this year my cousin Shannon, for them to sacrifice months of training and discipline, and for them to come out and do it for those battling paralysis means so much.
I just want to make sure that everybody knows, and Matt, we'll share this through our social media, but it's the mattbrownfoundation.org. And you can go to the website and you can donate. And I would encourage anyone who is listening to do so. Also coming up, I believe it's the 8th of July is the golf tournament.
Correct.
Again, more information, you can get it on the website. And 15 bibs down at Falmouth, which is really fantastic. Yeah. It's really great. Matt, your foundation has given money to people who needed their houses, retrofit. I know you gave someone a van. You've just done so many great things with the money, and I know you want to do more and more. So I really want to invite people to be inspired by this story and to go to that website and to do just that. You're incredible, my friend. I'm so glad that we've become friends.
Absolutely.
And I love, he's got a great story, and that is that his father's name is Brown and his mother's maiden name is Brown. So the Browns married the Browns.
Sat behind each other in elementary school and middle school. And I think my mom said because of how easy it would have been with all the paperwork, she had to do it.
And you're sure they're not cousins, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's been verified. Okay, just making sure.
Yeah.
She can keep all her monogrammed clothes and luggage. It was just perfect.
Checks that need to change, paperwork that need to change.
That's great stuff.
Oh,
Matt Brown, what's that?
Mike Brown's birthday today. Happy birthday, Dad.
Out.
There you
That's
go.
Right, 62.
62.
Yeah.
Oh, does he want you to say that?
Yeah, he's fine. The old man.
He's a Colby graduate. We love them at our house, that's for sure. Matt Brown, thank you. Thank you for your story. It's an unbelievable story.
Great job, Matt.
All right. This is Kerrigan and Company. I have to tell you, folks, I think lighting in your home is one of the most important things that you can do to keep the house updated. And when I need new lighting, I head to Lucia Lighting and Design. Their spectacular 10,000 square foot showroom inside a beautiful mansion in Lynn, Massachusetts is decorated with both architectural and decorative lighting in every single style. From crystal and traditional to contemporary and modern, the selection is absolutely unmatched. Whenever I'm looking for new lighting, as I mentioned, I head to Lucia Lighting and Design. And when I'm not sure exactly what I'm looking for, I rely on the expert guidance of their design team. I know that they can help me. Learn more and book your appointment today. It's lucialighting.com. If you've been waiting for Mother Nature to flip the switch on spring to update your wardrobe, now is the time. And I've got the perfect place for you to find all the newest styles. All Chic at 152 in Marblehead, Massachusetts. When you step into the beautiful boutique on Washington Street, it's like shopping a rainbow. The collections are perfectly organized and the vibe is upbeat. Quality, style, and savings. That's the All Chic mantra for casual chic to elegant ensembles. Remember, when it comes to style, it's All Chic at 152. 152 Washington Street in Marblehead, Massachusetts.
Big Night Studios is now open for all content creators. Are you looking to start a podcast? Looking to expand your brand? Then visit bignightmedia.com. Check out our rates, check out the studio, and see all the podcasts we have to offer. That's bignightmedia.com.
This segment of Kerrigan & Company is brought to you by Great Point Wealth Advisors. If you're close to retirement and want a better plan for the future, connect with greatpointwealth.com today. That's Great Point Wealth. They can help. Welcome back, everybody, to Kerrigan & Company, presented by A&B Burger. Keeping me company today is Jack Doherty, my friend from College Hype. We're having a good time.
Yes,
Matt Brown is an absolutely incredible young man. His story is amazing and inspiring. It's mattbrownfoundation.org. Be sure you go there and check it out. This is a great story. I'm anxious for you to hear more about it.
I'm impressed with everything you've told me so far about Greg. So this is
Greg Chastain is with us. He is the founder and the president of Voices of Hope. And you and I met, now you're saying back in 2010. Man, I've been around a long time. I am telling you, because Jack was saying the same thing, that he and I started to spend time together back in 2010. Voices of Hope was just on the verge of becoming something at that point.
Yes.
But for people who don't know what this is, I want you to start from the very beginning and tell, again, another incredibly inspiring story of adversity that you turned into something great for other people. So tell us a story about your mom.
Thank you. Yes, we met on the steps of the Fox News back then, because that's where you did the interview, on those stairs. But I started this organization. I lost my mom in 2009. April 13th coming up is her 15th anniversary of her loss, back in Indiana. And back at those days, I was in the financial world, but I also did theater on the side. And going back and forth with my mom, talking about all the things that she loved that I did. And one of the things that she loved was when I used to sing and do theater. So after her passing, I thought about what I need to do to give back to the community, because I took such good care of her in my absence, living in Boston and she in Indiana.
Sure.
And I was doing a show at the time, and I had to leave that show for my mom's passing. So when I came back, I talked to the cast and said, would you mind doing a show with me, a one-night show only in Winchester, Massachusetts? And 22 of my closest theater friends came, and we raised $17,000 in one night in this tiny little place in Winchester. So the idea sparked a little bit more, saying, well, what if we did something the next year? And all my friends kept coming back and coming back. And here we are 15 years later. We have over 250 members, 150 for every show. And we just passed our $1 million mark in donations to cancer research.
It is amazing.
Can you say that again?
1.14 million. Wow. I'm going to get the whole thing out there because we just passed it. And so we've been doing this for a long time. But the money is great, but we built such a community. We have a lot of survivors in our group. We have a lot of family members who grieve in our group. So it becomes a very cathartic, as well as doing the arts. We always say we're going to be doing theater no matter what we do, because that's what we love to do. But now doing it for reason just kind of brings it home and makes it more palatable when you're in the midst of a tech week and things are going haywire. Right. And then you kind of step back and we talk about why we're doing this and who we're doing it for. Everybody's doing it for someone. And it's just incredible. It's been an incredible ride.
It is incredible. And I want to get into some of the performances that you guys have done and are doing in the future. But before we do, you've got that money, you've partnered with MGH, correct? So talk a little bit. I mean, you've been instrumental in bringing drugs to the market. I mean, it's really incredible.
Yeah, our first 2 years we were with Dana-Farber, and then MGH Cancer Center came to us and said, we're starting something called the Tamir Center for Targeted Therapies. So they brought us to Charlestown to their labs and talked about what this was going to be. So it's targeted therapies, immunotherapies. So they take the individual, look at their cancer that they have, their DNA, whatever it is, and they target that specific person's cancer. And hopefully through those targeted therapies, they'll find out that this works for this, and then they can move that to somebody else's cancer. So it's very complicated. I'm not a medical person, but since we've started with them in 2013 or 2012, they brought 24 cancer drugs through the FDA and approved now.
So
and
impressive.
saved thousands and thousands of lives.
Impressive.
And it's not just Boston area. The Boston is where they do the research, but the research and the drugs and the patients reach worldwide, and they bring people from all over the world into the Mass General. And we've been with them forever, and it's wonderful. I now sit on a board that looks at the, it's called the IRB Review Board, and we look at the drugs from patients' side, and we read the paperwork and make sure it makes sense for the patients. We have a rideshare program for diversity to get people of all areas into the Mass General. And we have nursing scholarships there now. So It's not just the money that we bring creates the drugs. We're now trying to take that money into different parts of the cancer center. And they're just wonderful people.
Oh, wow.
Greg, how many people work with you on it? Are active working on distributing the money and helping out make the big decisions to get things.
Yeah, we have, like I said, we have over 250 members, but on a day-to-day, we probably have 100 to 150. And then those of us working directly with Mass General, there's probably a dozen or 20 or so. And everybody's a volunteer. Nobody's ever gotten paid a penny.
That's what's amazing.
Nobody's ever gotten paid a penny in our group. And that's what we strive for. So if you gave us $1, your dollar would go to Mass General. We survive on grants and sponsorships from corporations. That's how we survive. We have a new home in Andover, which is a beautiful church that we've kind of taken over there and partnered with those people. And again, it's all grants and sponsorships. So we're just proud to say for 15 years, everybody who's given us $1, that dollar went to cancer research.
It's amazing. So let's talk about Voices of Hope, because this part of it is just so fun. You guys have done, sang the Star Spangled Banner. You're putting on a show, Hello Dolly,
Yes.
up at the North Shore Music Theater. Talk about some of the different shows that we might see Voices of Hope doing.
Yeah, actually, this weekend we have 2 nights at the North Shore Music Theater.
Yeah.
Hello Dolly. We're in Tech
Love that
Week, so
place,
if I
by the
sound
way.
kind of tired, it's Tech Week. But we've also been lucky enough to become friends with all the major sports organizations and the colleges around. So we sing the anthem for the Celtics, the Bruins, the Red Sox, Pats. UMass Lowell has become a partner with us, and we do their basketball and hockey programs, some of Merrimack. And that also is a way to give back. As I said, we're all volunteers, so it gives back to our members to do something unique and fun.
Oh, yeah.
So we can say, come on, we're going to go sing at Fenway this week, or we're going to be at Gillette Stadium. The Kraft Foundation has been wonderful to us in that aspect, as Jonathan sits on the board. So they've become friends, and it's an incredible experience. And this year, for the first time, the Celtics had a cancer night, a cancer awareness night, and they invited us to help plan that and help be a part of that. And it was just an overwhelming night to be there with all these cancer survivors holding up signs and people remembering and everything. So it's just been incredible. But as a theater, we do 2 shows a year. So we have our spring show, which is Hello Dolly. Then we have a fall gala, which is our gala event where we do all sorts of cabaret sort of things. And then, same as Matt, we have a golf tournament in July. So the golf tournament was actually brought about by one of our members who wanted to do something else. And now this is our 14th year of that. So
Wow.
it's 365 days a year, but it's great. We wouldn't be doing anything else. And the same people come back year after year and stay with us. So it's become a family. There's generations in our group too. So
I'll bet.
father, son, mother, daughter, grandparents. So some of the shows have 3 generations of the same family in them. So it's just become a wonderful place to be.
What a great thing.
It is.
Awesome.
It is awesome,
it's
and a
really
great
great.
organization to support, because all of us have been affected by cancer in one way or another. What do you think your mom would think?
I think she'd be embarrassed because she's in the spotlight. But I think she understood in her last days, as you talked about people and the stories of passing and then coming back. In her last days, she knew it was coming, and she sort of had a euphoria come over her as well. and I was with her when she passed, and you could kind of feel a relief or whatever. So I think she's looking from above, relaxed with her sisters and her mom. Yeah. And she's around because our logo is a cardinal, because when my mom was passing, we had a nest of cardinals in her backyard, and she would tell me about every time on the phone. So that's why our cardinal is the logo. It's her. And I get pictures sent all the time of people like, there's cardinal in my backyard because this just happened. And people have, so I have cardinals all over my house, so don't send me any more cardinals. But the pictures are wonderful, and she's always there. You can tell she's always there.
I was going to say she's probably up in heaven or wherever, bragging a little bit about $1.14 million.
Oh yeah, her and her sisters. She's bragging over her sisters.
That's an excellent thing. That's so impressive.
It is incredibly impressive.
Thank you.
Greg, thank you so much for being part of Kerrigan and Company, and continued success. Let's tell everybody where we've said that this weekend. Now, this podcast exists for a long time, so this weekend is early April when you guys are going to be at the North Shore Music Theater. But there's opportunities, and if people go to your website, they can find out how to see you guys and how to donate, right?
Yes, you can go to vohboston.org, and you can send us a message, and there's information out there about how to become a sponsor, how to become a member. Mm-hmm. Anybody can become a member. You don't have to sing. We have painters and dancers and all kinds of things. If you're there for the mission, you can be a part of it. It doesn't really matter about your talent. Just come and join us.
Greg Chastain, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Success, absolutely. This is Kerrigan and Company. Is your life getting more complex? Maybe jobs are changing, you're nearing retirement, shifting family dynamic, uncertainty about your financial future. It may be the right time to contact our sponsor, Great Point Wealth Advisors, for holistic planning and advice. Great Point Wealth Advisors is a registered investment advisory firm with offices in Boston and Danvers, Massachusetts. Listen to their short-form podcast, Great Points, on most streaming platforms, or contact them at greatpointwealth.com. That's greatpointwealth.com. Welcome back, everybody, to Kerrigan and Company, presented by A&B Burger. It is time to wrap things up. Jack, this has been so fun. I'm just so excited that you and I have gotten to spend some time in the same room together again.
I'm on it. I feel like I'm Gene Levanchi. It's just like,
oh, you got Gene beat.
Say that again. Will you make sure it doesn't get cut?
Now, listen, before you go, though, we always do this thing called Focus Technology Fast Five. Co-hosts always do it. I'm going to ask you 5 questions. You've got 30 seconds to answer them. Pete, our engineer, he turns on the clock, so he keeps a close watch on it. Focus Technology is your trusted IT partner for cybersecurity, cloud, and managed services. So, are you ready, my friend, for your focus?
Do I get a timeout?
5.
No? Okay, let's do it.
There's no timeouts.
Let's go.
Here we go. Question number 1. If you could have dinner with anyone, dead or alive, who would that individual be and why?
Probably my grandmother.
Grandma.
Yes.
And why?
Very inspirational, very motivational, yes. Mm-hmm. So I'll go with grandmother.
Can I tell you that would be mine, too? I'd like to go back and see my grandparents again. Favorite New England sports team?
I'll go with the Bruins.
Okay.
I'll answer that again in 2 months, but I'm going to say Bruins with confidence.
You're both a runner. You also play hockey. Which would you rather do?
I wish I could run. Let's say run.
You've run the marathon.
Let's say run. I have 4 kids that play hockey, and let's go. It's 50-50.
50-50.
Put 10 seconds back on the clock, Kim, will you?
Best New England athlete of all time.
Oh, wow. That could be a stumper. I'm going to have to go with Tom Brady. Why not?
All right. And finally, name a college buddy who may be known in the area.
Bill Chase.
Bill Chase.
Yeah, North Shore High-Tech Window and Siding.
I love it. I love Bill Chase. I didn't think that would be your answer, but maybe that's why.
I know. I'll say answer. Doug Meehan. Doug was Bill's roommate, so I just wanted to kind of stir it up a little.
Yeah, you guys went to Westfield State together.
Yes.
Some of Doug's favorite memories ever. Doug was here with us a couple of weeks ago and was talking about you honestly throughout the entire thing.
Good or bad?
What happens on the podcast stays on the podcast. So I'm afraid I can't.
Doug's story's awesome. That. I mean, it's great. I went to see him throw out the first pitch, and I watched him practice, and thank God he got it done. He didn't have to make history; he just had to get it done, and he did it.
Well, Doug, a good friend guy to you and to me. Listen, again, it was so great to have both of our guests. Greg is terrific. $1.14 million is amazing.
Over the top.
Oh,
Absolutely
it's just
over the
absolutely
top.
amazing. And then, of course, Matt Brown with us today with the most inspirational story and just a terrific young man. We could take his story out of it and he'd still be a terrific young man.
I was going to say that. Yeah, he doesn't need that story, but yeah, he's
Right.
a great guy and he does amazing things. And good luck to Matt on the marathon on Monday.
Absolutely. Matt mentioned that he wrote a book, Line Change, and I want to just hold that book up and show everybody. He was kind enough to bring a copy of it for me. Line Change, a true story of resilience in the face of adversity. Absolutely 100% true. So
That's also available on Audible as well.
fantastic.
You get it on Audible.
There you go.
Those that don't like to sit down and read, they can listen to it.
Would that be
on
you?
a nice run?
Would that be you?
That would be me, Kim.
Yeah, that
Yes.
would-
Strike that from the record. I love Audible. It's a great thing, and I have listened to that book twice, and it's very inspirational.
I can't
and-
wait to read it.
And you laugh, you cry, and,
Yep.
and in the end, you're inspired. So that's what a book's all about.
I've been inspired by you today. Thank you so much for being my co-host.
Thank you for having me, Kim. I look forward to the next time.
Yeah, I will look forward to it as well. College Hype. And everybody can find that. We can go to the website.
Collegehype.com, yep. But we're going to go to mattbrownfoundation.org. That's our focus today. We're going to
And Voices of Hope. We've got so many places to go. I'm telling you, we're busy people.
Thank God for the internet, huh?
Great to have you with me, Jack, and great to have all of you with us. Remember, you can hear this podcast anywhere that you get your podcast. Follow us on social, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody, for listening to Kerrigan and Company. To find out who will keep me company and be my co-host on the next episode, be sure you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, and TikTok. Kerrigan and Company is recorded at the Big Night Studios at the TD Garden in Boston. You can view the podcast on YouTube and listen to it wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure you tell a friend. The executive producer of Kerrigan and Company is David Thompson. Our engineer is Peter Hurley, and our social media managers are Grace Kerrigan, Colby Thompson, and Riley Thompson. See you next time.
Yes, Kerrigan and Company is